One practical tip for those of you who are doing self-inquiry and are on the path, asking yourself what you are, finding out what you are at the deepest level, spirituality 101. Okay, you're not the body, you're not the mind, you're not Frank Yang, you're not an artist, you're not a musician, you're not a human being even. Oh, I'm awareness. I am loving awareness. Nope, don't get stuck there. Once you find a landing place, shuffle again. Shapeshift again. Change. People get stuck in the I'm consciousness place a lot. That's because they probably don't have a cessation. They never had a cessation. Again, cessation is when you take your mind to the edge, and then your entire reality, even consciousness, even infinite consciousness, the universe that you found to be the ground of being that's eternal, shuts down, disappears, you disappear, reappears. Okay, even consciousness is impermanent, unsatisfactory. Okay, I'm God, I'm the Godhead. Nope. Don't want to get stuck on the conceptual thing. Oh, okay, I'm the Godhead. You don't want to hold on to anything. Shape-shifting, always changing. Contemplative fitness is not a matter of imagination or an exercise of the intellect. The difference is like reading bodybuilding magazines versus actually lifting the weights. You're actually molding reality as a matter of direct experience. And there's a physicality, or should I say a metaphysicality to it. It's not, you're not doing it from the inside the head. I remember when I first started meditation 5 years ago, I was listening to Headspace. That was my first meditation app. And then one of the instruction was to imagine yourself expanding your mind to cover the entire field of experience, starting from just the body in your head, and then to the chair you're sitting on, to the room, and then to out to the street and the entire city. And then entire universe, and just imagine like this ray of, oh shit, bro. Just imagine this ray of light just like washing over the whole universe. And then I was like, wow, this is very interesting. Wow, I feel it. I feel the expansiveness. But I didn't know what the fuck I was doing. Now, 5 years later, I'm doing the same thing, except now I'm not imagining anymore. I literally become the whole universe. Like, I'm not even joking. Actually, universe is not even the right word for it, because your true nature, the self with the capital S, or Godhead, transcends space and time. So literally, it's just sitting here right now. It literally feels like my being or sense of self, or even my body, extends out towards all directions, and as far as I can see, the entire city is inside me. And this me suit here is completely just dead. Becomes the speck, a little speck, like a bird chirping, pooping. It doesn't feel like I'm looking through my eyes or hearing through my ears anymore. God am I perceiving itself, and there's only one sense door. The cars outside, the raindrops, the fan over there, this chair, they're all impinging on me. It's like somebody's tickling you. Not the small me, the quote-unquote real me. Infinite space. That's way over there and nowhere and everywhere. And my thoughts too. My thoughts are imprinted on the same space. My emotions. People are like, get rid of thoughts. Get rid of thoughts when you meditate. No. Thoughts are great. You know why? Because when you become non-dual, or what I now call non-locality, because it's beyond non-duality. After you dissolve the center, thoughts don't bother you anymore because they're not in your head anymore. They're literally in the same space as the sky and the clouds. You like looking at the clouds, don't you? Passing by. Wow, beautiful. Thoughts. THOS or THOTS or THOUGHTSZ. I just want to make a quick video on why I think the world is fucked up. First of all, from the perspective of the absolute, the world is absolutely perfect. Every single particle has been arranged exactly the way it should be arranged. But since the absolute, the God mind, includes the individual small minds, the relatives, you can't just ignore the individual minds. Even though it's all perfect, you're actually, the way that you want to do something to help the world, that's still part of the plan. That's still part of the perfection. If I can just sum up why they're suffering in not just the world as a collective, but as individuals, is because one thing at the core element, the belief in the illusion of the separate self. That's it. Ta-da! This is the core teaching of Christ, Buddha, all the sages in the past. Just boils down to this one thing. Like I said in the beginning of the video, your true self far expands beyond the mind and the body. It's infinite, literally, not metaphorically, not metaphysically, not physically. Not conceptually, not intellectually, but literally infinite. And it's right here. It's right here. Like my body and all those furnitures are all equal footing the way I'm experiencing the world right now. And I feel like a furniture sometimes. I'm just like part of the room. You see all those conspiracy theories, protests, whatever you want to call it. The reason why this thing has been going on since the beginning of time is because if you're trying to solve a problem with the mind, when the problem itself is coming from the mind anyway, you're just shuffling content. You gotta go deep into the context that gives rise to the content. Without going deep into the core of nothingness, of infinity, of everything, of the context, the screen that gives rise to the movie. You're just replacing one thought with another, one ideology with another, one program with another. And guess what? Thoughts always divide. That's the nature of thought. So you have to completely, utterly transcend the mind and cleanse your lens of perception, every single particle. Let me tell you again. If you have one particle on your lens of perception, you're still not awake. You gotta cleanse every single particle on your lens of perception, and then boom, you just ejaculated into this other plane. You don't want to just replace one paint on the lens of perception with another color of paint. That's what's going on. And things might get better for a while, but then but same, it's shuffling content, just cycling around, not going anywhere. And the only way to transcend the mind is a full enlightenment, full thing. You can't get any more full than empty or any more empty than full, which are the same thing. Emptiness and form are identical. You can't get any more infinite than infinite. But that doesn't mean that you can't think. You can think much more efficiently from that space. You have to go an order above whatever matrix you're in to be able to rearrange the content within the matrix, paradoxically. About the screen analogy, that analogy breaks down when you truly transcend the mind, because it's not just a screen. It's not something that's flat. It's something that's completely formless and it's everywhere. So I just got back to the gym, and ever since the Enlightenment, I've been waking up at like 4 or 5 a.m. and just getting like maybe 4 or 5 hours of sleep every night, because we spend so much of our energy trying to maintain a separate self. trying to congeal infinity and imagining ourselves into finite forms, that we have little energy for anything else. And after you completely ejaculate yourself out of your head and permeate all the infinite space, you have infinite room. Your energy just flows. And then my work capacity and conditioning is twice as good. I don't go out of breath anymore. And the Mitsu continues to do its thing. It poops, it shit, it eats, it lives, but it's all part of the cause and effect of the cosmos. The human will is replaced by the divine will, by the force of nature. In the beginning, again, it takes a while to get used to it. I'm still getting used to it. But let me tell you, I would rather die than go back to my previous pre-enlightenment state. That's how good this thing is. And I was just thinking about how in my last video, I was talking about a mass awakening, how everybody's kind of waking up through the crisis and everything like that. But is there really a mass awakening? I have to distinguish between intellectual woke and awakening and enlightenment. Because a lot of people just think they have awakened, listening to Alan Watts or just reading Eckhart Tolle. An intellectual understanding is still better than no understanding. But the shift between that and initial, actual, true awakening, experiential awakening, and enlightenment is still quantum. Staying in the now, pre-awakening, versus staying in the now, post-awakening, are matters of quality. The difference is qualitative, not quantitative. Two different dimensions. One is staying present within the human mind. One is staying present as the God mind. One is becoming aware of a single sensation, single object of meditation in the now through the human mind. Another is being aware, have direct knowledge of every sensation, all 360 degrees from both inside and outside simultaneously in a sort of omniscience way. And that's the hallmark of full awakening. You can't take the inside axis of development any further than that. That's our shit. A lot of people are getting glimpses though, which I'm so happy about. Every time someone sends me a glimpse, it pops my own chair as well. It's like, fucking love it. Love it. But if you want to lock that glimpse into 24/7 state, again, practice. You can't expect someone to squat 400 pounds without training. The Buddha did say that you can become an arhat within the range of 7 days to 7 years. There's some freak of nature out there who probably did his life previous work, maybe genetics, that just listened to some sermons and then boom, he woke up permanently like that. But that's 1 in 5 million. For most people, average Joes, people in the middle of the bell curve, be prepared to lose everything you care about in your life for the character. Be ready to face your own death for 5 to 10 years. You really gotta buckle down and do this thing hard. Like nothing in your life matters. And then you truly wake up.